Congress kicked the can down the road, so to speak, passing a short-term budget deal to end the partial federal government shutdown that lasted 3 days. The clock, though, is still ticking. Another potential shutdown is less than 2 weeks away on February 8th. The continuing resolution is a third stopgap measure enacted since September in lieu of a deal to fund the government for the entire fiscal year. For insight on these short-term solutions, we turn to H. Brinton Milward, head of the School of Government and Public Policy at the University of Arizona. If you would explain these continuing resolutions, how effective are they?
Well, they're continuing. I suppose they're effective in the sense that you keep the government running for a certain period of time, but it just basically, if it's a 30-day or a 60-day or whatever, you've got the same problem at the end of the line.
There's no real work that it accomplishes.
Well, it keeps the government running. It's better than a shutdown, but only better than a shutdown. I think the real problem you have here is that government can't plan. It costs money to plan for a shutdown, it costs money to make up for the time you were shut down, and so government performs even more poorly than it had before. And there are plenty of governments around the world that don't operate this way. Belgium, Netherlands, all these other countries, they don't necessarily do this because even though they don't have a government, they'll simply have the equivalent of a continuing resolution and they'll keep on funding at the current level without shutting government services down. But I think in sort of the current era, you've seen more polarized government. And when there's more polarized government, there's really very little agreement on anything.
One of the arguments that we've heard over the last few days, what happens to our military? What happens to the families waiting to cash the check to pay the mortgage? Is that really a reality of these shutdowns?
I assume it would be if the shutdown went on long enough. I think immediately, you're not going to see major changes at the borders. Those people are essential. One of the things I think that would be most hard to take if you were a federal employee now would be to be classified as a non-essential employee. Essential employees are those people who basically have to continue doing their jobs, the intelligence community and the Border Patrol and the military and others. But eventually that becomes a problem as well. We've talked about other shutdowns in Arizona. If we shut down the Grand Canyon and other tourist attractions, Governor Ducey has said that we might try to find some way to have the state take over the operation of that because it brings in a tremendous amount of money. So there's a trickle-down effect to state government, to local government from these shutdowns, even though they're open.
How is this possible that we have a nation with such a strong history, a rich democracy, and the government has just decided we can't function together at the moment?
The notion in a democracy is there is a legitimate opposition. And they may run things next time, we may run things next time. Now it seems to be more of a zero-sum fight on both sides. And that doesn't do much for encouraging people to vote. It doesn't do very much for encouraging people to think of institutions as behaving in the public interest.